Give me my money back. That was not a gift.
But what you steal?
I don't steal any. It's about to be cut off because I took my credit card off because I found out that Towanda has been using my credit card to pay her phone.
In the world of R&B royalty, the Braxton name has always meant harmony, sisterhood, and survival. But in this dramatized, rumor-fueled universe shaking the internet in January 2026, that harmony doesn't just crack. It explodes into something far darker. Overnight, the digital streets erupt with one name trending next to three terrifying words: arrest, FBI, betrayal, Towanda Braxton. And the whispers don't stop there. They all point back to the same source, Tamar. What began as loud family arguments, unpaid phone bills, and public meltdowns suddenly feels like the opening scene of a true crime documentary nobody was ready for. Screenshots leak. Voice notes circulate. A single line keeps replaying in fan circles. Give me my money back. That wasn't a gift. In this cinematic retelling, the Braxton family home is no longer a safe space. It's a crime scene made of receipts, credit cards, and silenced out fans who once laughed off the drama as reality fee theatrics are now frozen, wondering if the chaos they watched for years was hiding something far more dangerous. Was Tamar protecting herself or setting a trap? Was Towanda reckless or framed inside a family war that finally went federal? In this fictionalized, leaked narrative, the shift is instant from sisterly shade to handcuffs and federal files. This isn't about petty beef anymore. This is about money, identity, and a betrayal so deep it allegedly pulled the feds into a family bloodline. And once the paper trail starts talking, nobody is safe. The harmony is gone. The rumors are loud, and this story is just getting started in this dramatized universe. The collapse of the Braxton sisterhood didn't begin with sirens or courtrooms. It began with silence. A silence so sharp that fans noticed it before any accusation ever surfaced. Tamar stopped showing up. Group photos disappeared. Birthdays passed without public love. And in the background of that quiet, something else was building. A financial pressure, so heavy it was allegedly impossible to hide. The first crack appeared as a whisper online. Tamar allegedly cutting off a credit card. A phone bill suddenly unpaid. Then a line that set the rumor mill on fire. That was not a gift. Give me my money back. In this cinematic retelling, that sentence wasn't just anger, it was the moment. The family shifted from reality TV chaos into forensic territory. According to fictionalized insider leaks, Tamar began noticing charges she didn't recognize. Not small mistakes. Repeated pattern transactions. Bills tied to family operations, business expenses, and lifestyle upkeep, all allegedly linked to accounts in her name. The horror wasn't just the money. It was the familiarity. Whoever was doing it allegedly knew her information by heart. In this story, Tamar didn't explode immediately. She documented screenshots, bank statements, timelines. A quiet audit allegedly began, while the public still believed the drama was just sisters yelling for cameras. And that's the most unsettling part of this narrative. The idea that while fans were entertained, a paper trail was being built behind the scenes. Towanda, long positioned as the responsible backbone of the family, reportedly felt blindsided when confronted. Defensive energy replaced calm explanations. The accusations cut deep, because in this version of events, Towanda believed she was holding the family together while Tamar was pulling away. What Tamar saw as protection, Towanda allegedly interpreted as abandonment. The confrontation, as told in leaked-style retellings, wasn't explosive at first. It was cold. Legal language, boundaries, documents. The moment Tamar allegedly said she could no longer cover. Shared responsibilities is where the emotional shift turned hostile. Because without that financial safety net, everything began to wobble. And then came the most dangerous move in this dramatized universe, the alleged involvement of outside authorities. Not out of revenge, but out of fear. Because once Tamar realized the activity crossed institutions and state lines, the narrative claimed she believed she had no choice. protect herself, or be pulled under with everyone else. From that point forward, nothing was private. Family meetings reportedly felt like interrogations. Other sisters allegedly froze, unsure who to trust. Neutrality became a liability, and Towanda, sensing the ground shifting beneath her, allegedly pushed back hard, questioning Tamar's stability, motives, even her mental state. But in this story, the receipts didn't care about emotions. They only told one version of events, and that version was damning enough to change everything by the end of this chapter. The rumor universe reaches a chilling conclusion. The family wasn't just breaking apart. It was being documented. And once documentation replaces loyalty, there is no way back. The silence returns heavier than before, carrying one terrifying implication. The next phase won't be emotional. It will be legal. The second escalation in this fictionalized saga doesn't arrive with new accusations. It arrives with old paperwork. In this universe, investigators don't look forward, they look back. And what they allegedly find is a past that no longer matches the present. A bankruptcy filing from years earlier suddenly re-enters the conversation. Once seen as a painful reset, it now becomes a focal point of suspicion in the dramatized narrative. How does someone claim near total insolvency, then later appear financially active, mobile, and connected to multiple business entities? In this story, that question alone is enough to reopen wounds nobody thought would be touched again. The Rumorverse claims financial structures shared among family members, blurred lines that should have been solid, income streams allegedly rerouted, entities created to survive lean years, moves once justified as family strategy now reinterpreted through a colder lens, and the most brutal twist: the suggestion that Tamar's own forensic work may have exposed discrepancies unintentionally as whispers intensify. So does the psychological toll. Towanda's image begins to fracture online. Old clips resurface. Statements once harmless are now re-examined. Fans turn into analysts. Every purchase becomes suspicious. Every smile becomes performative. Meanwhile, Tamar's withdrawal deepens. In this narrative, she isn't celebrating freedom, she's isolating for survival. Separating names, untangling brands, cutting emotional ties as cleanly as legal ones. What looks like selfishness to some feels like escape to others. The family dynamic reportedly reaches a point of no return. Communication shifts to attorneys. Group chats die quietly. The matriarch's heartbreak becomes collateral damage. And the public realization sets in. The Braxton legacy, once untouchable, is fragile when money and mistrust collide. The most haunting aspect of this dramatized account is the absence of villains and heroes. Everyone believes they are right. Everyone feels betrayed, and the cost of loyalty becomes higher than the cost of exposure. As this chapter closes, Rumor Universe lands on its darkest note yet. The harmony didn't just end, it was replaced by silence, by fear, by the understanding that whatever comes next won't be fixed with apologies. It will be decided elsewhere. In this dramatized universe, the real damage doesn't happen when rumors leak. It happens when people stop denying them. By the time this phase begins, the Braxton family is no longer arguing publicly, correcting narratives, or playing defense. They're quiet, and that silence feels engineered, according to the circulating whispers that dominate this storyline. Tamar's withdrawal isn't emotional exhaustion, it's strategic. The same sister once accused of being impulsive is now allegedly the most calculated person in the room. Every move measured, every word filtered, every absence intentional. Fans sense it immediately. This isn't retreat, this is separation. Towanda, on the other hand, is reportedly unraveling under the weight of isolation. In this narrative, she isn't just fighting public opinion. It's fighting the realization that the family structure she helped maintain may no longer exist. Calls go unanswered. Messages sit on read. Meetings happen without her. And the most painful part? Decisions are being made in rooms she's no longer invited into. The rumor verse suggests that this is where the emotional damage becomes irreversible. Because once a family member realizes they're no longer part of the strategy, paranoia replaces trust. Every interaction feels like a setup. Every apology sounds like a trap. Towanda allegedly begins to believe she's being positioned, not protected, and the internet notices. Old footage resurfaces with new meaning. Scenes once dismissed as petty arguments are now framed as early warnings. Fans rewatch confrontations, freeze frame expressions, analyze tone shifts. What once looked chaotic now looks calculated. The narrative hardens. This didn't happen overnight. It was building for years. In this dramatized account, Tamar's alleged decision to fully disentangle her name from shared ventures sends shockwaves through the family. Business ties severed. Legal language replaces sisterly language. The word "we" disappears from conversations. It's all I and my now. That shift cuts deepest for Towanda, because in her version of events, she was never acting alone. She was operating inside a family ecosystem, one where resources were pooled. Decisions were shared and survival was collective. To be singled out now feels like betrayal layered on top of fear. The whispers claim this is where Towanda's emotional state visibly changes. Defensive energy gives way to anger. Anger gives way to desperation. And desperation leads to moves that only deepen suspicion. Statements that contradict earlier claims. Explanations that feel rushed. Silence at the wrong moments. Meanwhile, the rest of the family reportedly freezes. Neutrality becomes the safest option. No one wants to choose a side because choosing wrong could cost everything. And in this narrative, loyalty is no longer about love. It's about risk management. The matriarch's heartbreak becomes collateral damage. Family gatherings reportedly dissolve into tension-filled standoffs. Nobody knows what can be said without consequences. History becomes evidence. Memories become liabilities. And hovering over it all is the same unspoken truth. Once documentation exists, reconciliation stops being emotional and starts being legal by the end of this chapter. The dramatized universe reaches its most haunting conclusion yet. There is no final confrontation. No screaming match. No dramatic reconciliation. Just distance. Cold, permanent distance. Tamar moves forward, publicly rebranded, privately guarded. Towanda remains behind, fighting a narrative she believes was written without her consent. And the family name, once a symbol of unity, now feels like a weight everyone is trying to escape. The harmony didn't just end. It was replaced by survival. After watching this entire dramatized saga unfold, one thing is clear. This story refuses to be simple. There are no clean villains, no perfect victims. Just people making choices under pressure and families breaking when money and fear collide. Now it's your turn. Based on everything you've heard, who do you think crossed the point of no return in this fictionalized universe? Did Tamar do what she had to do to protect her future? Or did she weaponize silence and strategy against her own blood? And is Towanda the architect of her downfall, or the casualty of a system that used her until it no longer needed her? Don't scroll past this. Drop your full breakdown in the comments. Challenge other theories. This is the kind of story where every perspective reveals something new. If you want more deep dive narratives that connect dots instead of chasing headlines, hit the like button right now. Subscribe if you want stories unpacked with context, patterns, and psychological insight, not just surface drama. Turn on notifications. Because sagas like this don't end when the cameras stop rolling. They resurface when the truth catches up. Stay watching. Because in stories like this, silence is never accidental. Never accidental.